What's up YouTube, Capital G here. So we're talking about cheating going on at YCS Prague, and does it invalidate this YCS? Because unfortunately, the person who has been caught red-handed is the player who won the tournament, is our recent YCS champion. Now, for starters, I do understand that cheating happens at all levels of play. Like, come on, I haven't just started playing this game. I've got my eyes wide open. I know that on the regional circuit, locals, YCS, nationals, you name it, it happens, whether it's intentional or unintentional. And for anybody out there who's like, oh, Cat, you're the chat master, man, you chat all the time on your stream, who are you to talk? Like, okay, you have to understand, it's one thing for me to unintentionally chat on my stream where I'm just fucking around playing with you guys or playing against you guys with like, you know, Crystal Beast and my low tier janky decks like the Christmas deck or the John Cena deck or something like that. It's another thing when it happens at a YCS, when it happens in the finals of a YCS, when you've got one player who is repeatedly doing it, whether unintentional or intentional, doesn't matter because Konami says so. They say specifically, I'm not going to quote them verbatim, but it's both players' responsibility to make sure to maintain a I believe it's a fair and clean game state or something to that accord. But anyways, like when you've got a YCS winner doing it and they have been caught on camera multiple times, that is alarming, and you can definitely not compare me to that. So anyways, we're going to be looking at these instances where unintentionally or unintentionally the game state was pretty fucked up, or it would have been pretty fucked up, and you know, one of the players would have gotten a huge advantage out of it. And then there's one instance that to me, it's kind of irrefutable. Like, I don't really know if you can defend this guy for that. Yes, you can say that, you know, there's fatigue and whatnot. And this is why I kind of give players the benefit of the doubt when it comes to normal summoning twice. But when it happens multiple times, then I got to raise my eyebrow. Now, this is coming from Yu-Gi-Oh! I tried to contact him on Skype, mainly to see if he had talked with to see if had any type of defense or anything like that. Again, if I'm mispronouncing your name, just excuse that. You know, some of these European names, dude, I can't pronounce them. But anyways, Glasgow, he was away on Skype, so I couldn't get in contact with him. So hopefully he's cool with this. But anyways, and this is the one that I talked about when I was talking about what the heck happened at YCS Prague, because this was during the finals match. So again, every single judge at the entire venue should have had their eyes on this match. There should have been no way that anything wasn't caught. And I know that the Stardust thing happened in game 2, but Stardust is actually optional, so we're not even going to talk about that. If you negate something with a Stardust Dragon and for some reason you choose not to get your Stardust back, I don't know why you don't like free advantage, but that is technically your option. You don't have to get your Stardust back. So let's just try and sift through right quick. All right, so you see the first normal summon. Again, this is during the finals. Summons Armageddon Knight, and Marvin Weber decides that he's going to use Solemn Strike on it. I would have done the same thing because it's very likely that you would have gotten hit with a Shadow Dragon, and then your opponent would have got they might have ended up hitting your strike, and then they would have essentially got to keep the monster on board for free. So I definitely would have used Solemn Strike on that. All right, so he makes Diamond Direwolf, pops the back room. Then he's going to play Draco Face Off. And again, usually in Pendulum decks, you have your Pendulum summon, your normal summon. Those are your two one-ofs. And then you have so many other arbitrary summons. Like you've got Soul Charge, and you've got Face Off, and Pendulum Rising, and all of these other things, Instant Fusion. So I can kind of understand how you forget. But you see there, he tried the normal summon, Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. Now, the commentators were talking about Ignister. I don't know what was in this guy's head, if he just planned on ending his turn or maybe he was going to exceed. I think Ignister would have been the best play there because he had Giturtle in his hand. He could have obviously popped the Giturtle. He could have spun back the Forerunner. He would have had another he could have got a Master Pendulum on the field. At that point, I think it just would have been GG because Weber really didn't have anything that was going to kill an Ignister. Like there wasn't any coming back from that. So you can look at that and say, okay, Cap, you know what I mean? He tried the normal summon twice. It didn't go through. It's not that big of a deal. And it's like, all right, that's fine. If you try normal summon twice, I really don't think that it's that big of a deal if it gets caught, because in a Pendulum deck, shit happens. In fact, in a lot of decks, man. In Monarchs, you have a whole bunch of things with your Pantheism searching, and you know, some monsters have additional normal summon effects, and your Prime and all that good stuff, and all the shuffling, so you can forget. Here's another example. This was actually in a featured match in round 8 against Monarchs. So you see that he ends up normal summoning second Donkey. And it's like, okay, that's cool. You got your second Donkey going on, and you have your Abyss Dweller, King of the Feral Imps, and He sets a card, he activates Pendulum Rising, a card that apparently a lot of people knew about. I didn't know about it. It's from Cross Holes. All right, so he gets his Pendulum Sorcerer. He's going to trigger their effect, blows up Wavering Eyes, going to get himself some searches. So, I believe he adds Joker and like Get Turtle. It's either Joker and Get Turtle or Joker and Lizard Draw. All right, so he adds Joker and he adds my buddy the Guitar Turtle. All right, now the thing about it is I was kind of wondering why he got Joker. I was like, well, maybe he's going to Pendulum Summon it, or maybe he plans on like using Joker next turn because, you know, Joker's only when normal summon. So he does this whole play with Guitar Turtle and Lizard Draw, draws a couple of cards. And you see he immediately tries the normal summon again. And it's like, okay, well, you can't actually do that. And his opponent, you see him pointing his finger. I think he's like, hey, bro, you already normal summoned. And he immediately puts it back in his hand. And he just would have been able to get another search. He may have been able to get a monkey board from there. He may have been able to go into another play. And just who knows if these plays would have been able to go through, what would have ended up happening. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just call this guy a straight cheater. But when you look at all of this evidence, it kind of points to that. Because you have to think of what would have happened had he been allowed to actually do this play. You know, and the funny thing is, this is round 8, but let's just skip forward a little bit. We'll go to the next big thing. Oh, by the way, before actually we skip forward, people who watch this match say that he didn't actually resolve Pendulum Rising correctly either. If you read Pendulum Rising, again, I'm not the expert on this card because I just found out of its existence, but I'm not supposed to be because I'm not playing the fucking card. That's your responsibility to know what the card does. So Pendulum Rising should have actually destroyed the Pendulum Sorcerer. Pendulum Sorcerer should have been destroyed during the end phase. It should have went on top of the extra deck. People say that they watched this match and that he didn't actually do that, that it literally just stayed on the field. So that's another instance where, again, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but he actually did cheat. And now what's interesting about that is, I think we'll have to go a little bit further. Yeah, we'll actually have to go a little bit further for me to tell you the interesting part is, I believe he ends up losing this match. Yes, okay, so that was what's it called. This is still the same exact match. But the interesting thing about it, where he tried to do the whole normal summon thing and the whole Pendulum Rising, the monster staying there, he ended up losing the match anyways, or losing that game per se. He ends up winning the match, but he ends up losing that game. Now here's the second case in this same exact game where I don't think anybody can try and defend this guy. You see that he has Palomaru and he has Pendulum Sorcerer, and he does do a Synchro Summon. Okay, but what have we already noticed that has gone wrong? What have we noticed that has automatically gone very, very wrong? Pendulum Sorcerer went to the graveyard when it should have went to his extra deck. Why is that important? Because he has instant fusion in his hand and he's going to instant fusion that Pendulum Sorcerer back to make Rafflesia. Now, to be honest, this field's pretty much unbreakable against most decks. Like, okay, Cosmos can kind of out it, but that's pretty much it. Like, Cosmos, maybe you have, like, I don't know, a tin can plus, you know, like Dart Destroyer or something. That'll get you there. But against a deck like Monarchs, you're going to have a very, very, very bad time. In fact, the only play that I can think of that would get you out of a Naturia Beast plus a Rafflesia would be something like normal summon Eidos, and if they don't use Treacherous Trap Hole to blow Eidos and I guess another monster up like King of the Pharaoh Imps, then you could just like tribute for a Majesty's Fiend and then run over this. But that's pretty much the only out. Like, you need those two specific cards, or you need Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. So again, he activates Norden and he gets Pendulum Sorcerer. He should not be able to get this card because it's not in the graveyard. It's face up on his extra deck. The only target that he should have is Palomaru, and who knows, maybe the dude runs Armades or something like that, but that would not give him nearly the level of lockdown that Rafflesia has, because, I mean, against a field of like Armades plus Naturia Beast plus something like King of the Pharaoh, like, you literally just go ED a tribute for any Monarch and just win. Like, if you have Aether, you just clear their entire board. GG, don't worry. Like, your opponent doesn't really have anything except an Armageddon Knight and a Wavering Eyes in their hand, and at that point they basically lose. But his field is super stunny. You know, he's able to make this incredible turn one field when this play shouldn't have actually ever gone through, and he ends up winning the match. So, you know, we're just showing example after example after example of this guy trying to get extra normal summons, or, you know, a Pendulum Rising. Okay, I'm not going to destroy my monster during the end phase because fuck it, I forgot. You know what I mean? Or he's going for these instant fusion plays where the monsters aren't supposed to be in the graveyard. And again, there are some things where you can point to fatigue, but this happened during day 1. Like this, there shouldn't be that much fatigue in round 8 at a YCS during day 1. Come on, man. You know, this is one match where this dude is just completely fucking up the game state. So you guys let me know what your views and opinions on this is. You know, do you believe that this was intentional? I'm just gonna say yes, because you have to think about it like this. For every time that we caught, you know, this guy trying to normal summon twice, or him, you know, keeping a monster that shouldn't have been there for Pendulum Rising, imagine when he didn't play on stream. Imagine when he was just playing rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, 6, when he was just playing against regular people, because then it becomes his opponent's burden. Like, oh my God, I got to try and, this guy is constantly trying to cheat. Like, I've got to catch every single one of them, especially if you're unfamiliar with some of the cards like Pendulum Rising, or if you're unfamiliar with, you know, cards like, well, I guess that would be like the main one. And then there could be cards in different languages, because in Europe, you know, they speak different languages and whatnot. So that could be even more frustrating. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to have to be his opponent and think, oh, wait, he used Soul Charge. He shouldn't have been able to attack me 2 turns ago. Or, you know, he used Instant Fusion, but he didn't pay 1,000 life points. Or did this dude use Norden effect, you know what I mean, to get back this monster? Or did he just, you know, exceed with that Draco Slayer or that Luster Pendulum when he wasn't supposed to be able to exceed with it, etc., etc., etc.? Did he go into a Stardust Dragon from a Luster Pendulum? You know what I mean? Then it becomes his opponent's burden. So I don't know. This is some real shady shit. Actually, if I was Konami, I would reprimand this guy. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't give him like a harsh penalty for cheating. Like, I wouldn't give him the 3 years that I think most players get, but I would definitely like advocate the championship. I might even probably make him return to Minerva, and then if he didn't, I would just like ban him or something like that, because this shouldn't be accepted, man. And when a player wins a YCS doing this is that is alarming, guys. So you guys let me know what you thought. Thank you for watching as always.